Good morning, Niagara. You're tuned to Car Connection, where the coffee's hot, the tools are ready, and the talk is always tuned up here. I'm your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you straight from the Car Connection workshop, where we mix a little humor, a little know how, and a whole lot of horsepower. Here, it's not just about fixing cars, it's about keeping you rolling, saving you money, and giving you the confidence to understand what's under the hood, from the classics to the commuters, the weird noises to the what the heck moments. We've got you covered. So grab your coffee, sit back. If you're driving, don't forget, lock that down in your cup holder and keep an eye on the road and the other guy. That's right. So sit back and join the crew, because this is Car Connection, your daily, weekly, morning pit stop for stories, smarts. I am so smart, SMRT, and a few good laughs. Yeah. So if you spill your hot coffee on yourself, there's a reason the cup says hot, right? Got it. Niall Moan. I'm dead. Yeah, it's okay. I just need some coffee. Yeah. I'm Niall Motormouth Jenkins, and we're going to shift into drive this morning right here on Car Connection. So thanks for stopping by and joining us. Hope you get some nuggets and some nuts and bolts out of this morning's program. It's all about having some fun, learning about our automobiles, and coming away with some information, some knowledge that will help you and prevent you from spending money that needlessly on your vehicle. The more you know, ladies and gents, fellas and fellettes, guys and dolls, here's the thing. The more you know and understand about your automobile, the better it is when you take it into the shop, ladies. Because when I had my own automotive shop for well over a decade on the Hamilton Mountain, I can tell you this. 85% of our customers were women. They were always the ones that had to bring the car into the shop. And I felt sorry for them, because you know what happens? Correct me if I'm wrong. You take care of the car. You authorize the work to be done. You pick the car up as soon as you get home. Who wants to see the bill? And then it's a barn raiser, right? The roof blows off. What the heck? So I came up with a quick solution for the fellas, the lazy fellas that would not take the car in themselves for mama. Yeah, you drive the lousy car. You give her the good one. That's how it should work. But that's not how it really worked. Mama got the car that could hardly, it was a collector's piece. Drive a mile, go back, collect a piece. You know the story. Here's the thing. So I got these plastic toters so that when, Mama brings a car in and authorizes the work, I would put all the old parts into the toter, into the trunk of the car. And then I would tell her when she picked the car up, paid the bill, don't answer any questions when you get home. Grunt, hand them my business card and the invoice, and you say, call them, and the old parts are in the trunk. And then I would tag and bag the components that needed to go back for core credit so that they could bring me my toter back, and I would deal with the old parts and take care of it. That alleviated a ton of stress for you ladies. That's what I would suggest, and that's the only thing I thought of that I could come up with to prevent you from being in the hot seat and on the grill when you get home, when it was you who took the reins and got the car fixed and got it taken care of and got it fixed right. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. So we got to work together. That's what we got to do. We got to work together. So I got a couple of more winter tech tips to share with you this morning, and then we're going to jump right in and talk about your vehicle's braking system. But just before I do that, here's what I want to let you know, especially ladies. When you take the vehicle in to the shop, make sure a work order gets opened and the details that you give the service advisor, the service writer, is collected properly. Have them read it back to you so that as you're telling them the concern, remember the 4 C's: concern, cause, correction, confirmation. The confirmation is the road test, whoever's doing, making sure that the work is completed, the vehicle is as it should be, and it's ready to go back to the owner. That's the confirmation, a road test, a proper road test. So make sure you're doing that, and make sure that if you're authorizing anything, that you sign the invoice. Make sure that anything that you're declining is definitely recorded on that work order. And here's the big one: get a detailed estimate. I never subscribed in our own shop to what we called the 5 o'clock surprise. When you present the bill and you hear, "What?" And now, are you ever going to get it from the fella when you get home? Yeah, we don't want that to happen. We definitely do not want that to happen. So getting a detailed estimate and fully understanding the work that's going to be done will prevent you from having the, "What?" No 5 o'clock surprise. If you're dealing with a really good shop and the guys are really watching out for you, then there should be no 5 o'clock surprise. And breaking that down, what that means is they gave you a verbal estimate over the phone for, say, $500. You go and pick it up, it's like almost $1,000. It's gone up by 100%. Yeah, not good. That's not how you do business. So if you have an established working relationship with an automotive service technician at the counter and in the shop, that's a good place to be. But if you don't, you really need to protect yourself so that you don't have the 5 o'clock surprise. You're not paying for something you've not authorized, and then the big argument breaks out at the service desk. It just gets ugly. And how do I know all this stuff? Because when I closed my shop, I went to work at a dealership, and they were known for the 5 o'clock surprise. So we had to turn that around to get customers to come back to that particular dealer and give them their business. And, trust has to be earned. It's not given. It's that simple. I am a licensed automotive service tech on light truck and passenger vehicles, as well as highway trucks, diesels, equipment, and highway coaches. Always check your service manual to make sure that you're on track with your vehicle maintenance, what needs to be done, and when. All right, I thought I'd just throw that in this morning because that is a huge, huge piece of information. So make sure that what they're doing, and ask questions. Yeah, like, is the coffee hot? Are the donuts stale? How old are those muffins sitting there by the coffee maker? Not those questions. You want to ask questions, ladies, and you're good at it. You're extreme. 31 years on the radio. We've just retired out of radio and moving 100% into podcasts, and our YouTube channel has been going for a while now. We're moving Car Connection to the next generation. We're calling it Car Connection Next Gen 2.0, and excited about it. So you'll be able to pick up this podcast on iHeart and all the major platforms. Let your lady friends know, and your fellas, and single dads, single moms, widows, orphans, all of you. I'll do the best I can, like I did for 31 years on radio, to give you the same information here. And you have full access to me all the time through our Car Connection Business Network.com website. I know that is a mouthful. CCBUS is in Sam, NET.com. And our website has all our contacting information. The homepage gives you all our program sponsors and recommended businesses so that you can have places to go to that you can trust. And on the homepage are all the links for YouTube, Facebook, iHeart, and also our merch store. We've got some new merch coming in to add to our store. We're getting some more in the boutique. Be sure to grab your gear and become part of the Car Connection crew and show it off as well. So make sure that you ask. I used to tell the ladies when they come in, ask a ton of questions. I am so good with it. And if the fella's got to call me and ask questions, have them call me and ask the questions. Don't leave the shop and with your keys in your vehicle if you're walking away going, do you think he had, maybe. You get back in there and you ask questions till you can walk away and feel very comfortable that the communication was good. And that's where the breakdown happens. You know that song, Communication Breakdown? It is so true. And I'll tell you, in the radio business, 31 years in the radio business, I can sum it all up in one sentence. They're in the non-communication communication business. So true. Well, in the automotive business, it's equally true. Communication between the service desk, the customer, the service writer, and if the service writer isn't the technician doing the work, that the information from you has to go to the service writer, onto the repair bill, then out the window to one of the service techs on the floor in the shop. So there's a lot of room for miscommunication. So again, ask lots of questions. It's okay. If they get annoyed with you, it's okay, because you want to make sure that line of communication is fully open and that they understand what you're trying to tell them. And that's why I say ask to see the work order, or ask the service writer to read back to you the concerns you have with your car so nothing gets missed. Because here's what happens. The end of the day, you pick it up, then you say, oh, by the way, did you do this? Did you check the air and condition of the spare tire? Then the service writer usually gets this look like he's just about to be hit by a Mack truck, and that deer in the headlights look comes out. Oh, here's what you'll hear. I'll have to go ask the service tech. Then when he comes back, he's either going to lie through his stinking teeth and go, oh, yeah, we got that. But I can tell you right now, 99.5% of the time, that's not true. It's not true. If it didn't get discussed and the tech didn't see it on the work order, it didn't get done. That's simple. So just a couple of tips there. All right, here's some tips for you this morning. My coffee's hot. Do you mind if we have a swiggy together on 3, 2, 1? You ready? Okay, keep your eyes on the road and the other fella, because we know what goes on out there on the roadways. 3, 2, 1. That's just the right temperature. Yeah. How many of you ever gone through the drive-thru, you're in a hurry, the morning's going bad, and you rush through, you order your favorite beverage, you're halfway, you're a mile or two or a few kilometers down the road, and you take a sip and you go, that's not what I ordered. Yeah. It'll get better that day. Trust me. All right. Another winter tech tip. I'm not going to give you the War and Peace edition this morning. I've got lots of winter tech tips. So if you haven't listened to the last couple of episodes, I gave you 2 rounds of full hardcore winter tech tips. You might want to go back and collect those. We have our iHeart podcasts. And again, we're on all major platforms, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple, and like 60 other platforms as well. But my webmaster has set up our website so that we are archiving the podcasts in 2 places. So you can go to our channel, which is Car Connection Workshop, and you can go to our website, which is carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com, ccbusnet.com, and you can go to the archive section, and the podcasts are there. So I gave you 2 rounds of winter tech tips, 5 tips on each episode. But today you're getting 2. I'm giving you 2. I'm cutting you back. You're on a diet. You're on a winter tech tip diet. Are you ready? Number 11. That's what I'm calling it. Number 11. Check your rear defroster grid. You know the thing with the little lines in it? Yeah. A couple of broken lines there, and you'll be peeking through frost stripes like a prisoner, let me tell you. And it's more when the rear defrost window heated glass is not defrosting properly. I find it super annoying. It's something that's got to be fixed. And in most cases, to fix it means replacing the glass. They used to have these kits out, but they're not available anymore. The lines are in the glass. In most cases, depends on how old your vehicle is. That's an area where you don't want to scrape too hard. Just get the snow off. Let the heated glass do the rest of the work. So verify that your rear window grid defroster is working properly. It could be an electrical issue, could be a blown fuse, it could be a number of things. The sky is falling. Who knows? But we need to check that, because when you're backing up in the winter months, reversing is very important to see that, you want to know what car you're clobbering behind you at work so you know who to avoid, right? Yeah. Wasn't me. I had that happen recently. Yeah. And, how do you look at people the same afterwards? You're going, one of these suckers here backed into my ride, did some fog light damage, and left a great big kisser on my bumper and didn't say a stinking word. Yeah, it becomes a little uncomfortable being around them. It's like there's a traitor amongst us. A real serious lar. Yeah. Anyways, get past it, because they're never going to tell you. Never. You go, oh, somebody came out to my car yesterday, and somebody left me some artwork on my car. Oh, really? Yeah, forget it. All right, tech tip number 12. I hope you're writing these down. Pulled over, of course. It's always good when you're tuning into Car Connection, the Car Connection workshop. Have a crayon, a couple of them, and some brown paper bag. You can just scribble like crazy. All right, number 12, throw a flashlight in your car. Well, don't really throw it, but, place it somewhere where you can find it. And a lot of flashlights are just canisters for housing dead batteries. Yeah, it's like a flashlight can be like a toter. You stuff everything and then some in it, and then you go, has anybody seen the... Exactly. You have no idea what's in there. So place a flashlight into your car, because the only thing darker than a December night is your mood when you can't see the flat tire you're changing. Yeah. So a couple of little tidbits there. Hope you get something out of that. They're funny, but at the same time, there's not always a lot of ha-ha behind them, because it's so true. It's absolutely true. Well, we'd like to give a big thank you out to our program partners. Don't want to turn the podcast into a shopping channel or anything, but without them, we certainly would not be here. To Crystal Ridge Dream Center, serving men, women, children, meals, love, and hope in the Niagara region, changing lives one at a time in the entire Niagara region. And you can be part of that community by simply going to our website and clicking on the link, actually on the logo for any one of the program partners and advertisers. These are fantastic people that I have known for a long time, and we are certainly blessed to have them with us. So check in, click on the Crystal Ridge Dream Center logo, and a profile page will pop up. All our profile pages are set up exactly the same way, just like McDonald's. The bathrooms are on the right, so that you can navigate your way around our website very, very easily. And you can become a volunteer or just donate. There's a lot of things they could use there. They're feeding about 200 people out the door twice a week, all age groups. They're doing a bang-up job out there, and you can be a part of that. Thank you to Earl and Louise Grant at City Auto Sales and Leasing, GTA's premier pre-owned auto store. Low mileage vehicles, quality vehicles at fair prices. They sell no junk at all. They do leasing. They also have in-house financing. So whether you have good credit, bad credit, or no credit, check in with Earl and Louise Grant. Over 25 years in the resale auto business, and I'll tell you, you'll find a new family there. It's worth the drive to City Auto Sales. And to my good friends Rita and Ramiz Shanuda, the brothers at Rainbow Motors and Garage, sales and service you can trust. They fix everything you buy and everything you drive, up to light commercial vehicles. You can trust them. Rita and Ramiz in Scarborough. They're in Scarborough, Ontario. Been with Car Connection for about 15 years. We're grateful to have them with us. They'll take great care of you. To our certified financial planning professionals, my brothers from Other Mothers, they're two of the best in all of Canada. These guys have 50 years experience combined. I've worked with them both and still continue to do so. And when I say you need to connect, you need to connect. They're with IG Wealth Management. They do portfolios, debt retirement, estate planning, mortgages, and more. And life insurance, critical illness insurance. They have all the 6 pillars to a financial plan there for you. And you have access to them for a complete complimentary 1 hour and a coffee discovery meeting. Select who you want to meet with, and I'll tell you what, you will be so pleased. To my good friend Dave and Kathy Grimo at Niagara Block, 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls, building Canada since 1931, building hardscapes, landscaping materials. That's what they provide. Hardscape landscaping materials. They're absolutely stunning. And building products. And their customer service, bar none, is the best on the planet. To all my friends at Total Freedom Darien Center, New York, it's a campus where you go and you stay there and get your addiction fixed. You get a new life, a new heart, and a new future. If you're Canadian, they'll get you there. And you will be well looked after, but you've got to be ready to say, I'm ready to deal with whatever the addiction is that you're suffering. There's also a campus in Sydney, Manitoba, Canada, with Rick and Robin. Fantastic facilitators there. That is a men-only campus, and you can Google that and find Sydney, Manitoba, Total Freedom. All right, let's jump into our topic this morning. I won't bore you with it, but I will bring it to the table for you. You know, brakes. You know, this past summer, if you become a subscriber to our YouTube channel, which is under Niall Motormouth Jenkins, we'd appreciate that. We'd love to have you along with us, because the videos teach you 5 things all the time. Every single video. We shoot videos every Monday morning, and this is the beginning of the week. We kick it off. Well, some people say Sunday's the beginning of the week, but if you're following the Mayan calendar, well, we won't go. I digress. Let's not go down that. It's the beginning of the week. It's Monday. Let's kick it off. Let's get rolling, but let's also be able to stop that particular vehicle that you're sitting in. So regardless of whether you have traction control, all-wheel drive, sometime all-wheel drive, sometimes four-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, that won't save you when the brakes are broken. And we shot a lot of videos this past summer on several makes and models. Brakes absolutely destroyed. I mean, destructed. The last one we just videoed was an 2008 Nissan Rogue, and out of the whole thing, the rear brakes were absolutely shot, including the emergency brake. So 3 videos we did this summer on that come to mind on 3 separate vehicles. The parking brake, the emergency brake, and rear brakes were absolutely nothing left to work with. I mean, nothing left to work with. The components that make up the fasteners and all the moving components were absolutely rotted out and destroyed. Not savable. So what does that mean for you? That means what I call a gut job. And that is can turn into a really big cha-ching. So I'm here to help you. This time of year, brakes are important all year round, but when we're heading into the time of year where the roads can be slick, slippery, and pretty treacherous, you need equal braking on all four wheels. And ladies, no matter what your fella says, if you have an automatic, you still need to use the parking brake. If he says, "Oh no, sweetheart, no, the guy is wrong. You don't need to do that." Give him the stink eye. Okay, give him the stink eye, and then send him to our YouTube channel to look up the 2010. That was the first one we did was a 2010 Dodge Ram Hemi, 4-wheel drive, brakes all the way around, parking brake destruction. Second one was a 2010 Kia Borrego. Yeah, they didn't make a lot of them, so you may not even know that model. It's a jumbo SUV. Rear brakes, same thing. Parking brake not working properly, a mess. Third one, as I just mentioned, the 2008 Nissan Rogue, all-wheel drive, rear brakes, parking brake, non-existent. And that's all on video on our YouTube channel. So if your fella says, no, sweetheart, that guy's full of baloney, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, I am licensed since 1988. Yep, I got 40-plus years in the automotive service and repair business, as well as heavy-duty trucks and equipment, motor coaches, diesels, and tractors, and skid steers, and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, the parking brake is needed, very much so, and needs to be used every single day to keep those rear brakes, whether they're disc brakes or drum brakes, to keep them working right. Because when I say we need all four brakes on your vehicle to brake equally, yeah, you'll be the first one to know the car's not braking equally. Even if you have traction control with ABS, the ABS system can only recorrect the vehicle from a skid or a yaw, which is what we call it. I call it a yeehaw, because you're going somewhere and the car's taking you there off the road. You've got to have all four brakes braking equally to keep that vehicle straight when you need to apply the brakes perhaps a little heavier than normal. So if you're going to hit the road this winter, and a lot of people were getting into that season where it's going to be travel time, right? Visiting people you don't often get to see, and it's that time to gather together and have food, family, and fun, and beverage, whatever that may be. Don't forget the brakes. Not only give them a listen to see if they're squeaking, grinding, or gronching, or the brake pedal doesn't seem to be normal, and then hubby gets in there and goes, "Oh, yeah, it's all right. It's all good." No, it's not. It's not good. Here's what I know about you ladies that are listening. You're very accurate in your descriptions of, well, what kind of noise is it making? Or does it feel right to you? And you'll get, no, that's why I'm here. It does. Something's not right. So well done, ladies. So even though the car seems to brake, but you're hearing things and you're feeling things in the brake pedal, and it ain't just background music, that squeaking, that gronching, that groaning, that scraping. Yeah, I developed the word gronch because it really nails down a brake sounds. Gronching. Yeah. That's your ride begging you for help. So brake parts are cheaper than a tow from the middle of nowhere. And trust me, I've been there. I've broken down in a customer's vehicle on a road test. The brakes just went out the window. Done. Got nothing. You got to wait for the tow truck to come pick you up. Get the flatbed out there. So this time of year, my biggest recommendation I can give you is a 4-wheel brake inspection. And yes, the parking brake needs to be working. and you need to work it. But if you haven't used it for some time, it needs to be checked and serviced before you apply that park brake. If you were to show up here to the Car Connection workshop and studio, you could look in the window of any vehicle that we drive around here, and you will see the parking brake is on. The only time I will not set my parking brake is if it's raining and things are going to freeze up overnight, or I've come off the road and I've been in slush all day. It can tend to hang up and not release. So that's the only time I will not have my parking brake on. It's a habit you need to create. Every single time you park the vehicle, parking brake goes on. Now, there's other terminology for it: set brake, park brake, emergency brake. I use the term, it's a parking brake. It holds the vehicle by a braking system, not on the transmission. So you can tell your fellow this. It's just between you and me. There's a very tiny, teeny weeny piece of metal in the transmission on an automatic that's called a parking pawl. P-A-W-L. All the weight of your vehicle hangs on that little tiny piece of metal that keeps the automatic transmission in park. Should that little tiny piece of metal break, your car is set free. It's instantly in neutral. That is the two purposes of the parking brake. Take the weight off the transmission's little tiny parking pawl. And number two, keeping your rear brakes adjusted and fully functional properly, saving you a ton of money. So when hubby says, oh, it's an automatic, that guy's he's full of baloney, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I do, and I can prove it. Again, go to our YouTube channel, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, and look up some of the brakes that we did this past summer in the shop studio. So it's this time of year, all wheels off. This is what I'm going to leave you with. A brake inspection is not a peekaboo through the wheels. Yeah, it looks good. No, it doesn't. You got to get in and see all the brakes, all the components that make up your braking system. So it's how I've been trained. It's wheels off, all four. I'm going to take the calipers off. I'm going to make sure all the components that should be fully functional, working, moving components, that they're all working, they're all doing their job. Everything is cleaned and lubricated properly so that the brakes have equal pressure all the way around. So that's how we service brakes. And that should be done a couple times a year. But at this time of year, we want to make sure when you've got to apply those brakes, the car stays in its lane and doesn't take off and go out to the rhubarb patch. Wherever that may be, we don't know. Roads, where we're going, there are no roads. So till next time, don't forget to like, share, and follow on our YouTube channel. Like, share, follow, put a comment down below on our YouTube videos, and ring that notification bell and subscribe so you don't miss a single video that comes out every single week. We do 3 videos every week, 2 for Tuesday, 1 every Friday, and become a part of our iHeart Podcast community, and we'll see you in the next one. So keep it under 100 and put that coffee on when you get home. We're going to come to your house.